All right, so if you've seen the title, then you probably can already guess what I'm about to yap about for the next few minutes. Uh, yeah, Discord. They're going down the Skype route. They have announced that they're going to be, in addition to the new rules that went into effect in Europe, rolling out the ID verification requirements to everywhere, which leads me to be required to say, first and foremost, do not give Discord your ID. Period. So let's take a look at what this actually entails. Let's go on over to Discord's website themselves to see what they have to say about what's happening. All right. So basically, the way that they're phrasing this is every account on the site is going to be set as a teenage account by default, which means you're going to be marked as a child account, which means you get locked out of certain, basic features that every account has been able to have access to up until now. We've kind of already seen a little bit of how this looks with the new, I think it's just Britain, but also part of Europe, laws that went into effect for child safety. But it doesn't take much reading to realize that this entails a lot more than just protecting the kids. Um, Basically, they are spying on you using your information, your personal information, and they are gonna do who knows what with it. I guess you just have to trust them that they're gonna be the good guys. Um, that's gone really well historically for major companies. But anyways, let's read what this has to say. So this was their own press briefing. Um, and let's see. So how they're going to do it is you can either upload your government ID. Absolutely do not ever do this to any site that you're not being paid money on and you don't legally have to do it. Um, there's no reason to ever do it. There just isn't. And 9 times out of 10, that site is not going to process your data in a secure way. So unless it's through a government site or something that you're doing as a job that you are required to upload your ID, just don't do it. And then there's the other option where it does a face scan and it is going to estimate how old it thinks you are. Um, I mean, there's a couple caveats to this. So, one, I would say this is going to be easy to fake. So, it's not a very foolproof system. But then let's say that you're not faking it. Let's say that you're doing it for real. Then therein lies another issue. Because, and we'll get to it later, but it's been leaked that they're keeping these videos. They're not deleting them like they say that they do. So if you have a full face scan in the age of AI, someone can very easily, if that gets in the wrong hands, commit identity fraud. And that could be an issue. And then there's the whole other side of that, which is, I mean, I guess it's still in the realm of AI, but they're going to train their models on your face. Now, personally, I would rather they didn't do that. I know some people just don't care. They're like, your information is out there anyways. But just because your information is already out there doesn't mean that you shouldn't do everything that you can to limit your personal data on the internet. Um, I mean, it's not all hopeless, and you shouldn't just give up on protecting your privacy. Um, so, basically, it says that it's private. It's not going to be seen by others. That's not true. They've already disproven that. And then, yeah, this is also not true. It's not going to be quickly deleted. It might be deleted from your end, but somewhere on the back end of Discord, it is still there. Which, I guess, because we've already talked about it, let's just jump right to this just to give some context. So this was October of last year. This was their own press briefing. This was when Discord suffered a data breach. They're very much downplaying the impact of this breach, but this was after the UK laws went into effect that required them to roll this very thing out. But it was only in the UK at the time. Now they're pushing to move it to every region that uses Discord. But basically, Discord got hacked. There was a massive data breach, and they don't take any responsibility for it. Why would they? But see this? They also gained access to a small number of government ID images, full credit card numbers, which means your Nitro isn't safe either. So I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I wouldn't necessarily trust paying for Nitro either if your credit card can get stored and leaked like that. Passwords and authentication data, also really cool stuff to have out there. But yeah, so they said a small amount. But what is a small amount? Well, because Reddit is the best site ever, and those people are insanely smart, smarter than I'll ever be, people got to the bottom of it and found out how much was leaked. 1.5 terabytes of data. And remember, this is pictures and passwords. 1.5 terabytes is a lot of pictures and passwords. And to be specific, because they did the math, 2 million government IDs. That is a lot. And in the age of AI, there's so much bad that could come from that. And I would just double think about that. Like, is it really worth taking that risk? Is it really worth taking that risk? I would say personally no, but some people might not care. But yeah, 2 million IDs were leaked in just October. So remember, this is not even 6 months later that they're rolling this out system wide. That they haven't done a whole lot more testing or refinements to. They've just, promised it won't happen again. Please just trust us. It won't happen again. But so that's why I'm just kind of skeptical at taking them at their word when it's not that long ago that they had that many things leaked. So anyways, let's get into the specifics now of what actually is going to be impacted when things roll out and your account is set to teen as default. So what's going to happen is there's going to be content filters, and age-gated spaces are going to be blocked. So that means any NSFW channels or NSFW servers that you're in, you're going to be restricted from that until you verify yourself. So it's not requiring verification, but it's locking you out of things that you could do now that are, like, I would say channels and messages are a big part of Discord's, features. If you're locked out of that kind of defeats the point of the app. And then message request inbox. Basically, there's going to be a different pool of requests saying, verified user requests, and then ones that say, possibly children's request, because that doesn't make it seem awful. And then you're going to see warning prompts for friend requests as well, in the same way. And then also on stages, you won't be able to host stages anymore if you have a child account, which that one's weird. I don't know how that is going to, stage is just a group sharing thing. So, that's a huge use case of Discord. I know that, something like that, in the few settings where Discord is used in educational environments, I know that is probably going to be, actually a hindrance to that working. But there's other platforms that they can use for that. That's not the biggest deal. It's really that they're locking you out of content that you were able to access before, and that's just weird. It's just weird. And then to kind of appease them, that they're going to introduce a Discord teen council, which is basically, like, they have a council right now where you can make suggestions to the future development of Discord, and I guess that they're gonna do one for kids. I don't see the point in this because it's been announced in Discord's terms of service from the start that children aren't allowed on the app. So this is basically them saying, well, we know that people are going around it anyways, so let's just allow them and then change all of our rules to make that work. Why not just enforce the rules that they already have? It just, I mean, and I know that it's being bypassed, but it just doesn't make sense to change the way that your entire platform operates on a whim. My guess is that Discord is going to be going public very soon, and that they're trying to get this as a thing that they don't have to worry about it from a PR standpoint, and that's why that this is coming out. I mean, obviously the UK stuff, it had to happen because they were legally required to, but I think that that's why that's happening here, is because they want to look like they're a squeaky clean company that everyone should invest in. But, you know, it's not working. It's not working like that. So here's what they also had to say, which I found very interesting. They're not requiring everyone to complete the face scan or ID verification, and that the vast majority of people will continue to use Discord exactly as they do today without ever being asked to confirm their age. How? That doesn't make sense. If we're verifying people, then we have to verify people. How can we just skip some people? Well, it gets worse than that. So basically, here they are lying that they never leave their device, which was proven wrong in the last data breach. And then they never receive your age. It's or only receive your age, and then identity is never associated with your account. Also false. So basically, where is it in here? It might be in a different blog post. But so what they've said is, oh, it's in this one. Sorry. How does will I need age assured to continue using Discord? Blah, 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 blah. Here we go. Okay. So basically, they have said that they've leveraged advanced machine learning models developed at Discord to predict whether a user falls into a particular age group based on patterns of user behavior and several other signals associated with their account on Discord. We only use those signals to assign users to an age group when our confidence level is high. When it isn't, users go through the standard age assurance flow to confirm their age. So what this means is they have admitted publicly that they are stealing your data. They are scanning all your messages that you've ever sent on the platform and filtering it through an AI learning model. So they've publicly said that they're stealing your information to train their AI models. So nothing you say on Discord is encrypted. I mean, I guess that they never campaigned on the fact that they did, such as like places like WhatsApp, that was their big thing. But the fact that they are so openly telling you that your information is used to train their AI models and that nothing you say is private is alarm. Like, that's not something that I think should be normalized, especially something that you didn't get to opt out of. And they didn't publicly tell people until it was supposed to benefit them, like to save PR. And I don't think that they would have told people if it wasn't going to, save face for them here. Because this was after the backlash, because they've had a lot of backlash this week. And they think that this was going to put people at mind that, oh, don't worry. Not everyone has to do it because we've already read all your messages. And some people, we can already tell you're old. So you don't have to do that. But that's almost worse than the original problem in my mind. I would rather they think that I wasn't an adult and, not that they've read through every messages that I've ever sent. And, the machine knows more about me than I know about me now. It's just, I don't know. I think that it's a slippery slope and a dangerous road if we allow companies to openly steal our information without our consent. And I think that, like, if they had announced that they were going to do something like that, train their models on data, and then had it as opt-in. Like, hey, if you don't want to upload your ID, don't worry. We have an alternative. This machine can go through your messages, and it can guess how old you are. And then you don't have to do all that. That would be cool. They don't give you an opt-in, though. Regardless, they're going to go through all your messages, whether you like it or not. And that's the scummy part. And the fact that they're definitely not the only company that does this. It's just alarming. And in the age of AI, just the laxness on security and cares for privacy of users is just, it's concerning. It's sad to see so many companies just do not care about the security and privacy of their users anymore. You know, I guess we've already seen Discord going downhill through a lot of their changes over the years, but like this is just a huge blow to them. I'm not sure how it's going to pan out for them, but I guess we'll see. And then and then they also have an AI thing to detect sexual media, to block it for and graphic media, to block it for people that are in the teen accounts, which I don't have a problem with that. That is probably going to enable them to actually enforce their terms of service as they originally were. That's fine. What's not fine is, you know, stealing data without consent, probably selling the data, and then training models based off the data that you had no choice in opting in or out of. That's what doesn't get me. So from here, what can you do about this? Like, can we move on? I know it has been leaked that I think it's TeamSpeak 6, the new model. Yes, TeamSpeak is actually something that we're still talking about in 2026. They are releasing a beta version of their new program, and it looks to be imitating the best of features from Discord. Only time will tell what it's actually going to look like when it comes out, but they have a very small window here that I think that they could dismantle Discord. The only problem is I think Discord has just gotten so ridiculously huge now that it's going to be hard to dethrone them. But for anyone that is up to the challenge, I think that now is the time. If we're going to find a Discord replacement, I think now is when it would happen. You know, and I guess it's hard to say, you know, it can't happen because, you know, everyone said that with Skype, and then Discord came along, and, you know, nobody thought that Skype was going to be dethroned until they were. And it wasn't just because, you know, Discord came along and it was so much better. It was because people had this motivating push, because after Microsoft took over Skype, there was just a series of bad decisions that made the site less appealing to people. And I think and worry that this is going to be one of those for Discord. But it could be a good thing. We could, you know, at the time, everyone said that Skype was the end game. Nothing was going to be better than that. And then Discord came along, blows it out of the water. And we could get something like that again. Something that just, you know, shows us that, hey, we can do better than this. And we don't need Discord anymore because there's something better. But anyways, besides, you know, just hoping and praying that it gets better and that they walk it back, which I think they're too committed now that they're not going to walk it back. I know there's a lot of articles saying that after their press release that they did walk it back. They didn't. They're just trying to do PR. I still think that this is going to fully come out exactly how it is. And under false guises, because they're still doing it under guise of it's for saving the kids, but in a system that we've already shown and know is very easy to bypass, you know, it's just it's a lie. It's not honest. So at least if they were honest and transparent about why they're doing this, I feel like that would go a lot better than how they're approaching it. But anyways, people have already developed, you know, tools to bypass it. VR chat models, if you do the face scan, not the ID upload, never do the ID upload. It's just not smart to do. But you can face scan AI models. You can face scan Gmod character models. I know people in the UK were face scanning models from Death Stranding, and that worked. VR chat also works. So there's many ways around this. If for some reason we don't get something better, but mother necessity always shows up when needed. And I feel like it's just the perfect moment for something to come along and show us it doesn't have to be like this, and that we can get better than this. And I think something's going to come up that's really going to challenge Discord. I can't say that with full certainty, but I really do think that now is the time that if it was going to happen, it will. But I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Anyways, I've yapped enough. End of the day, don't give them their ID. If you're going to comply to their system and not try to find an alternative, use one of the many methods that I just listed to bypass their verification using the fake face scan stuff. Don't give them your actual information. Obviously, I'm not advocating that if you are a child that you should bypass this system, but if you're an adult, just bypass it. Like, don't give them their information. There's no reason that they need your information. You're not doing anything wrong by using their platform as you have been using it for a long time. And there's no reason that your ID should be required if you're not breaking the terms of service already to begin with. So anyways, I've yapped long enough. I'm going to let you guys go. I just wanted to get a quick PSA out there. Value your privacy. And just because these companies don't value your privacy doesn't mean that you shouldn't value your own. And you shouldn't be your biggest advocate for maintaining your personal information. So, yeah. Have a nice day.